Hey, guys. It's Jenny here, and I have a couple of little guests with me tonight. I'm super excited. Um, we're going to be chit chatting just casually about Scott Peterson. Little did I know until just a couple of days ago that he's been brought back up into the uh, interwebs, I guess, so to speak. But yeah, we're going to just chit chat about it a little bit. And I wanted some people to come up here and chat with me about it. So I invited a few people, and I've got both Morgana Banana and JB's mama with me tonight. I'm super excited. Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Yay! I'm super excited, super excited. Hey, Chaloon. You did get here before Lee. Hey, Dawn. Hi, Tammy. Hey, Steph. Hey, Sherry. Hey, guys. All right. So, we're gonna jump straight in. My sister Mickey will probably be jumping in anytime. Um, but I have to be honest, I did not like I remember when the Scott Peterson thing happened with cuz I remember what was it? 2002, I
Yeah,
think.
2002.
Okay, so 2002 is when it happened, and I remember sitting at my mom and dad's house like on their porch when I heard about this like happening. And it was like crazy. Like wasn't into true crime back then, but that was like a horrible case, right?
Yeah, it
That
was
Hmm.
it,
sad.
yeah, that's Morgana's voice that you're hearing, Steph. Hey, Henny.
I sound like a man, Steph.
Whatever. No, you don't. So yeah, I remember the story. But sadly I did not watch um I didn't watch the trial. I didn't really even know that you could do that kind of thing back in 2002. Um, but I remember hearing a lot about it on the news off and on, right? And now that this case is like came rearing back, I kind of like am super interested in it now, and I want to go back and like watch the trial, you know. But JB's mama, how long did you say it was?
It ran from June 2004 to November 3rd. It was a 19-week trial.
It was 9 weeks.
19.
19. Holy cow. Good
Yeah, I'd
Lord.
like to see it too, for sure.
I can't imagine. That's 19 weeks. How many months is that?
That it ran from June 1st to November 3rd.
So 5 months?
Mhm.
Good grief. That's that's crazy. But I would love to watch it. I'd like to go back and watch it. I just don't know how we would do it um, and keep up uh, with everything else that's going on, you know? How would we do that?
No, it'd be really, really hard. It's like OJ Simpson all over again.
Yeah, it's a long one.
I don't know I don't know how we would do it unless maybe, like we just kind of pulled out the really good testimonies, like the really good experts, and, you know, I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, might be able to do that.
Yeah, you
I,
might be able to.
yeah, I just don't know if there's like a lot of fluff. I call it fluff, but like the fluffy witnesses that when they get on and then they get off the stand, you're like, yeah, well, I could have done without that one. Like that one did nothing, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
mm, I don't know. Steph says she'd like to watch the original one too. Well, I say original. I mean, there's only been one trial, but the I'd like to watch the actual trial. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey Joe, Mickey Joe, Mickey Joe. Morgana, Steph says, Morgana, you sound like a witchy sex worker. Oh my God.
I work hard for the money, Steph.
Oh, God. Oh, Tammy says, if I'm not mistaken, it was a CO case. What's CO?
Oh no.
What's CO, Tammy? You'll have to tell me because, what is CO? Colorado?
Mm,
What does. No, it wasn't. That was in uh,
California.
California. Yeah, it was in what, Modesto or something?
They lived in Modesto, but the trial was moved to Redwood.
To Redwood?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, okay, yeah. But we have JB's mama had taken a bunch of notes, and I know Morgana said she was looking at some of the different things, and I'm just kind of, I pulled up this website here, this news station, and I want to scroll back up here at the top and just kind of talk about some of the things in here, and then kind of like get into the meat and potatoes, so to speak. But there's this place called the Los Angeles Innocence Project, and I'm hearing, I mean, what I've been seeing is that it's supposed to be like a branch off of the Innocence Project. Does anybody know?
I think it's for that state. I mean, I think he wanted it to be a thing where there was one in every state. So I
Hmm.
guess
Okay.
that's the one for California.
Okay. Um.
Oh, Tammy, she's probably thinking of the Chris Watts case.
Yeah, I bet so, because that was Colorado, wasn't it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had two little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. That's another. Now I did watch that one. I did watch that one.
But
Um
I don't think that one was a very long one because he actually pled.
yeah. Yeah. He did. He did. Hey Cynthia Boojak. Hey girl, how are you? Um but this here, there was the apparently this, I think her name is Paula Mitchell or Paula, I don't know, we'll find out here in a minute, but she's one of the attorneys for this Innocence Project. And it says here that the attorneys with the Innocence Project filed multiple discovery motions in San Mateo County Court on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, asking for evidence to be turned over for re examination. The motions, which are more than 1,000 pages long, were obtained by KRON4 Friday, which is this news place here. Now, this is apparently not that document that I have, or maybe the document that I have that's in this, um, that we'll get to in a bit, was 430 some pages. Um, um, but the LA Innocence Project confirmed to KRON4 that it is reviving Peterson's 2 decades old murder case and investigating his claim of actual innocence. So, I guess. Hey, Abigail Marie. Hi, baby. I guess. Tell me. Tell me in the chat. Like, I don't know. Put a 1 if you think Scott Peterson is guilty, and put a 2 if you're like, I don't know. Morgana and JB's mama, you guys are gonna have to tell me. I mean, I already know how you both feel because we already talked about it. But tell me now, how do you feel?
You're gonna have to
More,
pick somebody because I think we're both waiting for each other.
Yeah, we're both sitting here like,
all right, JB's moment, you tell me.
I think God did it.
You think he did it? Okay,
Mm.
Morgana.
I would think, I think he probably did it, but I want to see what evidence they come up with this new, um, from the Innocence Project.
Right, right.
Because
See, that's
there are questions that I kind of have,
yeah, me
like
too.
with the robbery, and there's just a lot of inconsistencies there.
Right, right. That's kind of where I'm at. Um, I'm in the number two boat. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he probably did it. Right.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I think.
the jury found him guilty. There's a lot of like evidence that was circumstantial that pointed to him, apparently, right? But the only reason I can say that I think he did it is because everybody else thinks he did it. I didn't watch the trial, so I don't know what I would have been thinking as a juror, you know?
Right. Me too.
Mickey says guilty. Steph says she don't know. Cynthia says guilty AF. uh, Steph says, "Watch me be the only one who thinks there's reasonable doubt." Tammy says too, but she don't know much about the case. Mickey says he couldn't have did it. He was at the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God.
I agree with what you just said, Steph, though. I, I think he probably did it, but there was enough doubt, I think. And he is a shitty person.
Right.
Just for
He
For
even
the
did it.
sure.
He even did
affairs
an
For
and
interview.
all
He
that.
said, "Think what you want of me. Think I'm a crappy guy, but blah blah blah." And I think everybody went, "Yep, you are a crappy dude."
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as like having an affair and all that, yeah. But did he kill her? I don't know.
Well, and I'm kind of thinking too because I think I read that was it true that he apparently had bought like adult video. I don't really want to say the PORN blah 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 word because I don't want them to like chop me off here at the knees. But um, did did he supposedly buy adult entertainment on his TV the day after she was? I heard that somewhere. Corn, yeah, cornbread.
Yeah.
Did he buy cornbread the next day?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but
That
I
one
haven't
I
seen it all either.
yeah, I haven't actually heard definitive evidence.
Okay. Well, I think I heard that or read that somewhere, but again, I'm not sure. Steph says I love DP and corn. Oh my god, Mickey, he did. Are you saying yes that like was that a fact? Was that like proven like through the trial that he did do that? Now, I'm not going to say that that's evidence that he's a murderer, right? Even if it's the day after his wife is missing or
Right.
whatever. Um, he added cornrows to his TV, Mickey said. Okay. So, um, you know, he's just because he did that, in my opinion, don't make him a murderer. But playing devil's advocate here. Maybe he has a sex addiction or something. I don't know, and maybe he was you know missing his wife. I don't know, but um. Steph says, wasn't he a sex? I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if he
There
was a.
there is actually a lot of quite a few of the family members and one family member that really spoke out and said that yes, he did. He had a big problem with it.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go. So if he does have a problem with that, then, you know, being an S addict does not make you a murderer. So, Not again. I'm not saying that he's innocent, because I don't think he probably is not innocent. But um, there's a lot of things, I guess, that I'm just questioning. That is one thing. There was some other things brought up about, like, him dyeing his hair blonde, and the money, the $15,000, the knife, and the whole, like, apparently whenever he got arrested, there was like life preserving things in his.
Um, I actually have a part of that list that he actually had in his truck when they
Oh,
did
really?
arrest him.
I've got pictures of it. I've got pictures of it, but tell us about that a little bit.
So in his truck was an ID with John Edward Peterson, that's his brother. He also had $15,000 in cash, 6 pairs of shoes, several underwear and socks, several sleep medications, a GUN and a knife, camping equipment, which was a tent, a tent cover, cooking stove, numerous items, climbing gear, a scuba mask, a snorkel with a fishing rod, Ziploc bag, hammock, several pairs of hiking boots, 3 different cell phones, and men's what's the PG way of putting this? The blue pill for men.
Oh, the uppity Epperson pill.
The yeah, your stand right pill. I mean,
The standout attention pill.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, Mickey said, well, one was a saw and he had 3 knives. A hammock,
hmm
yeah. What's he gonna do with a hammock? Because gotta have somewhere to sleep when you're on the run, you know.
Well, from what I understand, the establishment was made because of where he was at, which was in La. It's a town in California that's actually very close to the Mexico border, where his sister lived. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like he could have like jumped gun as soon as somebody said, "Hey, yo, the cops are showing up here," and he could have survived wherever he was at for a length of time until he
Yeah.
needed resources from outside sources. Could have jumped, is what it was established as, what all he had.
Okay, so how did they pull, like, how did they play that off in court?
It was it was mentioned as a potential theory. I don't think it was actually said in evidential state. This is what he was planning to do. It was made up the theoretical thought of what he was potentially planning to do because he did have the blonde, which he tried to say, "Oh, my hair is blonde because I was swimming a lot and the chlorine and the sunlight in my hair."
Mm.
That was supposedly for the blonde hair.
Okay, well, I had heard or read somewhere that he had dyed his hair blonde like a long before he was caught and arrested. That he had dyed it to hide himself away from, so that media and stuff wouldn't notice him, or he would be able to, like, not be hounded by the media and stuff. But,
That's
like,
what I heard, Jenny, from
yeah,
his lawyer said that.
Here's the
okay,
deal. If Scott was arrested in April of 2003, Laci went missing in December. So that wasn't even 6 months later.
right.
So,
Well, but if he had died it like a couple of months afterwards or something,
right.
like, is what my thoughts were. Because there
Mhm.
was one picture I saw of him with blonde hair when he was clean shaven. And that was when he was his arrest photo, I think, was blonde hair and clean shaven. But there was pictures of him with blonde hair before that where he had a beard.
Yeah, the goatee.
Yeah, and so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, if his arrest photo was a clean shaven, then it's not like he would have, or maybe it was vice versa. I just remember thinking he would have had to have had the blonde hair for a while in order for him to have had the goatee that length, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what made me think that too, but Steph said it had to have been recently dyed and died often because there was no natural growth. Sherry said she heard Peterson refused to take a lie detector test. Huh.
I heard that he originally said he would, and then the next day, after talking to a lawyer or whatever, he said he didn't want to.
See, that's what I.
Okay. Well, that's odd. Anytime that they say that they don't want to take a lie detector test, that to me screams, you know, guilty. But
But
at the same time,
they said most attorneys are going to advise you not to do that because it's not really admissible and all that. So,
well, that's true. Steph says she would never take one, innocent or not. Really? I'd be like, hook me up. Hook me up. Hook me up. I am telling you, even ex police say not to. Really? Well, I mean,
yeah, there's a
like
lot that believe that way.
Cindy and oh, what's the husband's name? Cindy Anthony and George. Is it George?
Yeah, George.
George
Georgia.
Anthony. They both did, but this like the first time they'd taken one in all these years.
I think so.
Don says I say hook me up too. Oh, Steph says here they can lie about the results. I've seen way too many people lied to and mentally beaten down to confess to things they didn't do. You know, one thing that I found out during the Cindy and George Anthony lie detector test thing is that they actually had you answer the same questions over and over and over and over and over so that they can get a read on your different body, whatever, like wavelengths when you're answering at different times so that they can gauge what is
Yeah.
normal for you.
Yeah, they consider I guess a baseline.
Yeah, that's the word. A baseline. I don't know. It just sounds crazy to me, but um this article here, though, I want to get back to this because there was some stuff in here that sounded very interesting to moi. Um, where was it at? Hold on a second, guys. Um, in here it says this motion, the new one that was just filed on the 17th, a few days ago, says contains a statement written by Peterson from prison in November of 2023, which is just a couple months ago. He wrote, I believe this additional information will assist in determining what happened to my family and prove that I'm innocent and had nothing to do with these horrible crimes that were committed against my wife and son. In 2004, I was wrongly convicted of murdering my wife, Laci, and our unborn son, Connor. Um, and there is, when I'm going to pull it up here in a little bit, but there's a statement or a declaration or whatever you call it that he makes. That was kind of lengthy, but I just kind of wonder how much of it was his actual wording or how much of it was like lawyer speak, but made to look like, you know what I mean? How they do that. Um,
But in legal term.
right, I know. Um, isn't she pretty?
She was a pretty girl.
So pretty. That smile. Um, Peterson said he contacted the Innocence Project last summer and requested for its attorneys to investigate his case. I didn't know how that went. I didn't know if they reached out to him or if he reached out to them. I didn't know how that worked. Um, Talks about his alibi here, how he went fishing alone in the San Francisco Bay on Christmas Eve. Newly filed court documents reveal what LAIP, which is the Los Angeles Innocence Project, will be digging into to find out if the wrong man is behind bars. This legal group is dedicated to exonerating wrongly convicted inmates and exposing systemic flaws in the criminal system, blah, 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 blah. Peterson is now 51 years old. Good grief. Um, in November of 23, Peterson wrote, I have discovered that critical exculpatory evidence was ignored, overlooked, or never investigated at all, and in other instances was suppressed at the time of my trial. So that, and then here, right here, this is the part, the big part. Here are the 4 key pieces of evidence that the Innocence Project attorneys will focus on. Witnesses who may have seen Laci walking her dog. Okay. I remember that being a big part of the trial, like the news, whenever the news would come on, they would be like talking about the dogs, her walking the dog. And
Yeah, there's 10 people that said they saw her that morning.
um, there may be witnesses who saw Laci alive after her husband left Modesto to go fishing. Police and prosecutors said Laci was murdered before he left town. Um, Laci typically took their dog on a walk around the neighborhood. So they're saying the police and the prosecutors said that she was murdered before he left town. But according to eyewitnesses, Peterson said during the search to find Laci, the police continually ignored evidence, including eyewitness reports that Laci was alive and walking our dog the day she disappeared. So the LAIP is asking for all reports, audio, video, transcripts, photos, notes, documents, everything detailing investigative actions taken in response to the report sightings of Laci on or after December 24th. Um, and that was one of the, like, okay, when they were doing the trial, did they have like, how many of the witnesses did they have up on the stand that said they saw Laci?
No, there was a mention of it, like at least 10 people that saw her, but I don't know how many actually showed up for court thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I did hear the number 10, but
Okay.
I don't know about in court
Right.
because the police tried to act like he had killed her the night before and that she wasn't alive the morning, when he went fishing.
Mhm.
Mm. So whenever they had the people who said that did any of the witnesses say that they saw her after he had left?
Yeah, there was actually numerous ones that said in the timeline that came, said, "Oh, I've seen her after this, I've seen her after that, da, da, da," because Scott supposedly left the house between 9:30 and 10 that morning,
Okay.
and there's eyewitness accounts from 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, or 10, no, 10:45 was the postman that went by and seen the gate open.
Okay, so I mean, if you have that's okay, that right there, that's my first question, right? If you got people who are saying that and you got multiple people who are saying that they saw her after Scott had already left, then how did he do it?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the question.
seriously, how did he do it? If
That is a good question. But here's the thing: is it Lacey supposedly stopped walking Mackenzie there for a while, the dog, and then the 1st of December she started picking it up as a daily thing. So with eyewitnesses, and then I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
See, you said it too.
With
You
that,
said you said Devil's advocate.
just that's the southernness in us. Okay, now she's okay. Anyways, um, anyways, with eyewitness statement, they police just like to lean towards it, but it's not 100% accurate fact.
So they don't have
That's the
any
one
like
thing.
they don't have any like concrete evidence. Like
Mm-mm.
I really want to go back and listen to these. Like there's no surveillance. They didn't have Ring doorbell cameras back then.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope. That's 2002. I mean, we all had flip phones back then and go, oh, after 9 o'clock, you can call me.
right. And then have to hit the buttons 10 times to get to the letter A and all that kind of thing.
Unless you had the slider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hold
there
on a
was a
second.
question about her.
I gotta let the girl out the door. I'll be you guys go ahead. I'll be right back just in 2 seconds.
Alrighty. There was a question about her cell phone being in the car. Did you
Yes,
hear that? And
I
that
did
she
hear
didn't
that.
have it. And they said, well, why wouldn't she have it? Like if she was going to walk the dog, why wouldn't you have your cell phone?
Right.
Or
But we're talking back in 2002. Because I
right,
remember
I didn't have a phone then, probably not a cell phone.
I had one, but I had the Nokia that had Snake Game on it, you know.
Uh huh.
But back then it was like you had minutes, or you were paying for your minutes,
Right.
unless until 9 o'clock, and then it was free, 7 o'clock or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
who's to
I
say
remember
she
that.
didn't have that for when she was away from the house, away from other people, because of her being so heavily pregnant? Maybe it wasn't one that was glued to her hand. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, that's true. Because they weren't glued to your hand back then, you know?
No, it's just mostly for like when you're away from home, if an
yeah,
emergency or whatever.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, you couldn't even get like I don't think get on the internet back then. You could send or maybe you could. I don't know, but I just like if the mailman was one, okay, let's just say if the mailman was one and he says he saw her at 10:45, they can't go back and verify what his route was that day or time stamped on when things were
There's
delivered.
no timestamps on that. That was like regular U.S. post. That wasn't like UPS or FedEx where you got to scan the package bar and stuff like that. That was regular postage back then, or that what it was that I'm understanding.
I thought there
Wow.
was something that the mailman had put in close to that area so that he knew he was there around that time on some package or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know 100% say. I just know that for where he was at, there's not one like with in close vicinity to the house to say that at 10:45 right at the
Right.
house.
Mm. You'll have to let me know what it is, Steph. Um, Shirley, hey Shirley. I saw you had asked a while ago what's new now with Scott Peterson. Apparently, there's the Los Angeles Innocence Project has decided to investigate or reopen this, and they're requesting some new evidence and some old evidence because they say that there is potentially DNA evidence to say that he's innocent, but whether that's true or not, we don't know. We don't know. Hey, Sapphires and Ocean Waves. Hi, girl. Hi. How are you?
Hey, Cooter.
Cuda Brown. Um, Rodney Reed. You'll have to tell me who that is or what that. Send me something for that about that.
I think.
Um, but the next chunk of the number two thing that they're going to look into more is the Medina burglary, which was across the road from their house, right?
Hmm.
So there was the house across the street um, from the Peterson home. was burglarized around the same time Laci disappeared. And then it says Peterson's attorneys say the burglars could have kidnapped and killed Laci. Two of the burglars were later caught and interviewed by police. The burglars denied having anything to do with Laci. Um, and the Innocence Project is asking for a complete copy of the Modesto Police Department's investigation into the burglary. They want all of it. Said that the burglary occurred sometime between December 24th and December 26th. And JB's mama had a really good point that she brought up earlier before we went live. Um, what were you saying about that? About the if
So
it would have been on that date?
if it was any time after the 24th, there was a ton of newspapers and a ton of police in that area. So if that robbery occurred on the 25th, 26th, or 27th, that that street was full of folks.
You're breaking
Because
up a
that's
little
back
bit.
when they, oh, I said if it was anywhere between the 27th, 26th, or 25th, there was a ton of news camera and police and people out looking for Lacey.
Right.
The street was full of folks. Who in their right mind is going to commit a burglary? Why? You got all those people.
Mm, that's very true. Very
Because I
true.
think they said those the guys came out with a safe
Hmm.
out of the house in the middle of like 11 o'clock in the morning or something.
And there actually was an eyewitness that stated that.
Yeah.
Hmm. And did they say the eyewitness? Did they say what the date was?
It was on the 24th, and they even know that it was a white color van, that there were three individuals, and they were all carrying it out, carrying a safe out.
Oh, a white van?
Yeah, white van.
A white van. Okay. Huh. Surely, yeah, they are. They're saying that he's innocent, but I mean, you know, like I guess everybody's saying let's take that with a grain of salt, right? Um, what's Steph saying? Something about what's she talking about? Barbecue. Hi, QB Designs. How are you? You're on at night. I'm at work, but listening. I am on at night. So, because we're doing, like, I normally do the trial coverage, but I wanted to do some chit chatting, and that's why um, I thought it would be fun to do some little case discussions and stuff. And, just trying to find a time that works good for that. And since the daytimes are usually filled with live trial stuff, so, but I enjoy this. I enjoy the chit chat and stuff. I think it's fun. Um, Cooter says like the timing was off, and then the DNA evidence was shaky too. If my memory recalls, it's been years though. Um, yeah, surely she was pregnant. She was pregnant with pretty much he was full term.
She was 8 months.
Mm.
But there was some other question about uh, a watch of hers that showed up at a pawn shop.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. The some kind of a watch.
So
Wasn't
they
that
were
gold
questioning
watch?
whether those guys that were robbing the place across the street, if she tried to stop them, and they, had to get rid of her, they said,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe took her watch. Because some lady, I guess, brought the watch to the pawn shop, but it was somebody that had something to do with these guys.
Yeah. And they've
Mm.
never been able to find Lacey's watch.
Right. So that was kind of crazy.
Well, I didn't know if maybe the watch was like something that he like got rid of. But did they ever prove that the pawn shop that was her watch, Or because what I've read is that there were two people that they were wanting to question who had pawned the same kind of watch, and they were wanting to see if it was hers because they didn't bring that up during the trial.
I don't know. Might have been. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been proven that it was hers. It was just very, very similar to the one that Lacey had that has been not been found.
Right.
Mm. Now, see, I was just thinking, well, I mean, if she had it on when she was dumped in the water, obviously. I mean, I don't want to sound gruesome, but her arms were not there when they retrieved her body, right?
No.
Right. But somebody might have stolen it and then
Right, right. And then pawned it.
pawned it or got
My
somebody to pawn it.
Right. And my other thought was, well, if it was damaged or it had like Scott's DNA on it or whatever, then maybe, he did something with it. Like, what if it was still laying in the boat or in his truck or whatever? And then he's like, ooh, and just slings it out the door on the way somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you never know about that.
I did make the connection, QB Designs. I knew as soon as you said dork, I was like, ah. ah. Steph says, I feel like it's Darla. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, assassination of character, not evidence. Gosh, that was such a crazy story, too. Um, but I think I remember now they stated it was a personal unaliving. Steph said there was also something about men eyeing and following pregnant women in that area. Yeah, JB's mama or Morgana, one or the other or both, brought that up before the live. That there was a immigrant, did you say?
Yeah, it was an illegal, is what they actually referred to her as an illegal. Because in other words, she wasn't an actual U.S. citizen, but she
Okay.
was actually 8 months pregnant, who actually went missing in 2002. But it was not publicized like that. But she was also pregnant.
Wow. So, I don't know. Shirley says he had less circumstantial evidence. Oh my God, Shirley, that is exactly what my sister said. He had less circumstantial evidence than Casey Anthony, and that was a bad call with that case. Oh my God, Mickey, my sister said the exact same thing earlier tonight. She said the same thing. Steph says could be looking to try to steal the babies for trafficking. Well, I mean, but if that's how that, I mean, it didn't go over so well with Laci if that was their plan. QB Design says, I'm so glad you're here. That's what I was thinking, was maybe it fell off when he moved her. I don't know. I don't know. Um, so the Medina burglary, that's what they were talking about, is the second chunk of evidence they're really wanting to look into. But when you said that the van was white, that kind of blew my mind because here, look. Now, Mickey, if you're still listening, you take a look at this too. The suspicious van fire here is what they're talking about. On Christmas 2002, the day after Laci was reported missing, it says a suspicious van caught on fire less than 1 mile or less than a mile from the Petersons' home, court documents state. The van appeared to have been intentionally ignited to cover up a crime, court documents show. Here's the van, okay? Now, I want to know how much of this they discussed during the trial. How much of this did they discuss? Because inside this van is, here it says the LAIP is asking for police and fire departments reports from December 25th. Van fire in the airport district, a complete copy of the police department case, fire department case concerning the investigation of an incendiary or whatever fire of an orange van containing a mattress with apparent bloodstains located in the alley less than 1 mile from the Petersons' home. Digital copies of all 911 calls reporting the vehicle fire, blah, blah, blah. So inside of this PDF right here that I'm going to open up, I've got some pages like bookmarked or dog-eared or whatever you want to call it. But I want to know what was mentioned about this van in the trial.
Let's see, I don't remember much about other than the white van being brought up.
Shirley says it sounds like we're in a baseball auditorium. What's that mean? Same van used in the robbery and kidnapped her because she saw them, maybe? Well, he did it afterwards. What's this say? Yeah, he did it, or he wouldn't have acted so weird afterwards. Okay, I see what you mean. Steph says that means the van was set on fire using some type of fuel. Steph says JB and Morgana sound echoey, but we understand them. Okay. I don't know enough about the new stuff, but wouldn't think that be insane if they gave him a retrial and he was found not guilty. I mean, he's a punk and isn't likable, but that doesn't prove guilt. Right, that's what I said too. I said the same thing. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, Mickey, do you remember much about that van being in the trial? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about the trial part of it because I didn't hear all that. So
Same. Same. Hold on. Let me look. Let me look at something real quick. It's hard to actually get a retrial though. I know. And I'm just anxious to hear when this motion is going to be like, when they're going to come out with some more news about this. Like, I don't know what the next step is going to be, you know?
yeah, because I don't know when they're going to start testing all that evidence. I'm anxious to see what they find out
Yeah, me too.
because they said they don't take cases, unless they really see that it could be changed.
And maybe that's one reason why they are taking this case is because there was no actual concrete evidence to try to tie Scott to unaliving Laci. That it was all speculative. I can't.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit more. You're breaking up a little bit, JB's mama. Sorry.
And maybe that's one reason why they did take the case is because there's no concrete evidence to tie unaliving Laci. It's all on speculation.
Mm, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Mickey says she can't remember about the van. You would think that that would be a huge part of it because inside the van was an actual inside the van is an actual was an actual mattress that had blood stains on it, right? So you would think that if that was brought up in the actual, I want to go back and find it. I want to go back and look because that is one of the pieces of evidence that they're requesting. Let me go back and look. Hold on, because there it talks. Oh, it talks about Laci's watch too. That's another big piece of the puzzle they're going to look into. But inside this document, there was. Let me open this up. Hold on a minute. If I can remember how I had to open this. Um, how do I open it? I don't want to rotate counterclockwise. How do I? It's not, I need to open the actual thing. Maybe if I click here, it'll open the, okay, there we go. Duh. Sometimes all you gotta do, Jenny, is just click a button. Click a button. That's all you gotta do.
Just click all of them, Jenny. One of them will work.
Down to do something.
Yeah. QB Design says, but the LA Innocence Project is no joke. Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't really know much about the Innocence Project. I've heard of it and I knew what it was for, but I don't know anything else really about them and like what kind of cases they've taken on and won or whatever. Tammy says, click one of your tabs. God knows I got plenty to click on.
Just don't click the drum.
Ugh, right?
Kel's prime time joke.
Oh my gosh. Where is Kel? I wonder if Kel is Kel in here tonight? I don't think I've seen Kel yet.
I haven't seen that.
Let me look through this. See, here's what I was talking about before. JB's mama right here. It says, I don't know if you can see it or not. It says electronically filed by the Superior Court of California on the 17th of 2024 right there.
Mm-hmm.
It says notice of motion for post-conviction discovery, declarations, exhibits, blah, 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 blah. And there is a, what do you call it? Table of contents right here. Where was the, okay, Medina burglary discovery requested, page 13. Let me go to page 13. All right. Now there were, let me scroll and find it because there were pictures down here somewhere. I'm going to have to scroll, scroll, scroll. I mean, this thing is 430 some pages, right? But, hold on. Let me go.
Just letting y'all know if you hear
Kel, she's
snoring,
in.
it's my puppy in the background. She's up there on the bed from me. She's, I'm sorry if you hear snoring. I'll mute when I'm not talking.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
There's
Hold
Kel,
on, guys.
Jenny.
Oh, hey, Kel. Sorry, I can't see the chat right now. I'm scrolling through trying to find this picture. Give me a minute. I thought it was on the page I was looking for, but apparently it was not. Hold on. Maybe if I just drag it, I'll find it. Read the chat for me, Morgana. I can't see nothing.
Kel's, her eyeballs are just in there.
Naturally.
She's peeking behind the bush.
And Steph said Kel was summoned or lurking.
Uh-huh. Kel's been a busy bee today. Oh, come on, Jenny. Find this picture. Where is it?
And then he's and I probably shouldn't say that word.
Shirley, here's the thing. I don't know if a lot of y'all looked into this or not, but I did. Um, actually, what and I was telling Jenny and Morgana about this before we went live, is that there was actually 4 other times he was not. Um, he had actually had affairs on um, Laci, one of which was in their first year of marriage. So, and this is outside of the 4 would be including Amber Fry, but he'd stepped out on her own. So it's not just this one time. Everything he was doing up until then was like he wanted to live like a double life. or he really just wanted to completely start over. Because I looked into a lot of it, and I listened to Amber Fry's book and the home bit. The girl, I felt bad for the girl. Reading her book and reading into everything that did today, I feel bad for the girl. She could, yeah,
For the Amber Fry chick?
yeah,
What do you feel bad for her for?
because she honestly did not know about Lacey.
Yeah.
She
Well,
was
I
not
mean,
aware of.
um, he had literally what told her. I think my sister Mickey was talking about that earlier today, which I'd heard it, that he had told her that he was a widow or something.
He said, and I quote, "I lost my
You're breaking up,
now."
chick.
Oh, he said that he lost his wife.
Oh, okay.
He never actually said she died or she's missing or anything like that. It was like in a phrasing that he could turn back around or gaslight anybody.
Hmm.
Yeah, because he told her he wasn't married, didn't have any kids, didn't want to have kids, even with
He didn't
her.
even want to have kids. No. And
That's
he
what
was
he
even,
said to her.
yeah, he was willing to even go and get a vasectomy.
Yeah,
That's
I heard that.
wild. I hadn't heard that. I don't think I had heard that.
Hmm.
Didn't Chris Watts say the same thing to What's Her Face?
Mm,
That he didn't, I mean, she knew that he had kids, but didn't he tell her that he didn't want any more or something? Or was that, am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look into that one again to see on that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
I'm still looking for these van photos. Hang on, guys. Um, because
That was kind of crap.
there was, there was pictures of the van, and then there was pictures of um, the mattress, and it showed where they had taken like clippings of the mattress. It showed like 4 or 5 different places where they had taken clippings for testing. Um,
But I don't. Did they test it at all before the trial?
See, that's what I don't know. I don't know.
Apparently they didn't, or they wouldn't want to be testing it now. I wouldn't think.
Well, I mean, that's kind of one of the things that really. I'm thinking I read that the DNA tests for this van and the swabs that they swabbed did not, wasn't ever, I don't know if they weren't tested or if they were tested and the evidence was never brought into the trial. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Into
that either.
evidence.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the biggest things that I really want to find out.
But you wouldn't think. I mean, if they already did test it, why would they be wanting to test it again? Wouldn't they have the results?
Yeah, you would think so.
Even
I
if they
mean,
didn't bring them into the trial, wouldn't they have them? You know, for the what they're doing now.
right. Well, I mean that might be what they're, I mean they're saying that they have evidence that says he's innocent. Right?
Yeah,
That claims that he's innocent.
I thought
So,
there was somebody that they were talking to too that had more information.
right, there's supposed to be um something to do with a woman that had saw Lacey walking the dog that morning or something. Um, and according to her, she said something about she was afraid to call 911 because, or to call the tip line because something to do with they were like trying to keep people from calling in with like misinformation.
Right.
Yeah, because the
And
media was putting out so much misinformation back then too.
and I think she was afraid to call in with the information because I don't remember why though. I don't remember if it was because she um couldn't remember the date or something. Um but I don't know. Shirley
Yeah,
says, did they give him back the vehicle or is that in the evidence? With the van was burnt. It wasn't even his van.
And I don't think they gave Scott back his truck because he was in like a bunch of different vehicles. He was spotted in a bunch of different vehicles, and he was claiming that he was having a rent vehicle, and that he even had to sell Lacey's SUV, buy another vehicle because they returned her SUV, but they did not return his truck.
Oh wow.
I had heard that too, Steph, about they weren't following up with uh, tips and stuff they were getting very well.
I'm still looking for this daggone van. I Googled it and cannot find it on Google, but it was in this document. I saw it. Now I wish that I would have like screenshotted it. It would have been a whole lot easier. Would have been a whole lot easier, but no.
No, you got to do it the hard
And
way,
Jenny,
Jenny.
try looking back at the table of contents for photo edit.
I did. I looked and it said page 13, but that was the. See, hold on, let me scroll down here. Table of contents, Medina burglary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know what Lieutenant Xavier Aponte reports our Croton watch. Oh, van fire. 35. 35, 35, 35, 35. Okay. If the pictures are not in this area, I will flip out.
Don't flip out.
I'll flip out.
Calm down, Jenny.
I'll
I
try.
did.
Um, See, I remember seeing this part too, but this is not
Hmm.
any of it. Um, Somebody's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to YouTube this trial. Do you know if it's on YouTube or is it on like a?
I don't know.
I need to go find out where it's at because I want to start
Oh,
watching it.
you're on exhibit. Exhibits. The request.
Are you seeing something, JB's mama?
I was reading.
Oh, sorry,
I
I'm
was like,
scrolling.
exhibits. Oh, exhibit A.
I'm at like scrolling like a fool here.
Oh,
I've got a lot of stuff like redacted out. Last names, addresses, numbers. Um, and I would have thought that those pictures would have been right there, but they were not. So they might be in a separate spot. I just remembered scrolling through and I ran up on them pictures and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Pictures. Um, Tell me, Morgana, what was the I know you were looking in like you said something about refreshing yourself on the stuff. Was there anything that was like brought up that you like didn't remember to begin with the first time around?
Well, I hadn't watched a ton of stuff on it to begin with, so it was a lot of new stuff to me to begin with.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. I knew a lot of the basics,
I mean, I knew
but
what they were saying had happened, and why they arrested him, whatever, but not the details.
right. I was watching I can't remember where I was at, but I was watching something and it just kept showing that there was like a news clip of whenever the police drug the like the body bag up out of the water. Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Mm,
saw that tonight too. That's awful.
yeah.
But I was watching the one with Derek and what's her name, Stephanie. Or
Oh yeah, yeah,
Stephanie
yeah.
Harlow. Yeah, I
they have
listened to
a
like the last two episodes of that one.
yeah, they
Yeah.
have like 6 episodes on it.
Yeah, they did.
I love Derek Levasseur
Hmm.
Mm,
and Stephanie. They make a good little team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do, and she really investigates or like researches
Mhm.
yeah.
really well.
Yeah, and I really like her too because she oh, and if you read, there's this like this back and forth. You saw the Gmail thing a minute ago. There's like this back and forth between this Paula Mitchell, who is I think, the main attorney for the Los Angeles Innocence Project, or at least the one that is, um, uh,
In this
she's the one
case,
that messaged and like requested the information. And so there was this whole like big back and forth between her and the prosecution. Um this was here was the declaration that I was talking about that he wrote. This was
hmm
his writing on November of this past last year. Talking about his innocence and all that kind of stuff, which was pretty good reading, you know.
right,
Um, but I want to go through like the important things like that. I wanted to just kind of like touch base with it tonight, and then um, there's so much information that I think it would be best to like break it down a little at a time and talk
right.
about the different things a little at a time because there's no way you could wrap your head around all of it in one
No,
night,
there's
you
just a
know?
ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey Jenny, I'm finding your pictures.
You're what, honey?
I found the pictures on those on that
Oh, well, send
on
them
the
to me.
document
Send them
you're
to
looking
me.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finding the pictures now.
Oh,
They're
where are
like
they?
down in the 200 pages. Hold on just a second. I'm
Okay, well,
trying to
good,
find the
because I'm at
exact.
146 right now. There's
I'm trying to find the
436 pages.
I'm trying to find the exact one of the van that you're
Okay, because
talking about.
it's
And
like a,
Jenny,
yeah.
Tammy says that his trial stuff is on YouTube.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Yes. I didn't see your message, Tammy. I normally can eyeball the chat pretty good, but I was scrolling like a trolling villain over here on these. I mean, I scrolled 130 some pages and I couldn't see the chat. I couldn't see the
Jenny's
chat.
scrolling, scrolling, scrolling.
Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Get the motor rolling. Um,
So
well,
there's
to go ahead.
a picture on page 314 of that document.
Okay, 314.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. JB's
There,
mama.
she
Thank
found
you.
it.
All right. So here, let me look and see what it looks like on StreamYard, and I might be able to make it bigger. Is that getting any bigger for you guys, or is it staying the same?
Mm, I
There's
think it's
additional
about the same.
photos on down.
Okay. Okay, I think it's getting bigger, but let me scroll it over. Okay, I think that's what I want right there. What if we did this case on Fridays unless you're not available? Oh, I see what you mean, Tammy. I see what you mean. I don't know. It depends on what's going on. It depends on what's going on trial wise, because sometimes Fridays are big trial days.
Yeah, they tend to push a lot on Fridays because they're trying to finish it out and not have to start up again the next week.
Right. They try to get as much in as they can on Fridays, unless you're watching the daggone treehouse murder trial. That this past Friday was a poop show, man.
Oh man, that was a mess.
That poor Paula. God love her heart.
Oh, I felt so bad for her.
Me too.
I'm like, leave this poor woman alone.
Jeez. Okay, so this is the orange van. All right. Now, I'm not going to lie. It looks like an orange van to me, but was it like right here? That's white. Is that white because it was a white van and it turned orange in the fire? Or is it an orange van and that white is from the fire? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an orange van to me. It don't look like it
Yeah.
was white to begin
Yeah,
with.
that looks like where the fire was. Turned
Right.
it white.
Right. That's what I
Killed the
think
paint
too.
off or whatever, probably.
Yeah. Here is a license plate, right? Um, let me scroll up some there. Looks like just melted
Hmm.
junk, ash right there. But then down here is the like inside, I guess, from you can see like the driver and passenger seat here and here. And then back there is where this is. And this is the mattress. And this, I think I read, was like some kind of canister that had some kind of fuel in it, which is probably what they used to set the place on fire, the van on fire. I don't know.
Well, whose van
But,
was this? Do they know?
well, I don't know.
Or was it
That's
stolen?
that's what I think it was. Um, I'm not positive. I really don't know if they ever said whose van it was. Um, QB Design says, okay, so the Innocence Project is saying that there was a video of the interview of the two burglars where they said that Laci witnessed them breaking into the house.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read that, but I
I
don't
think I did
know.
too. Or heard it tonight.
Yeah, I think I read that, but I took it with a grain of salt because I didn't know. I didn't see anything. I wonder where that's at. QB Designs. Where is that?
See, I remember hearing that there was somebody in the neighborhood that happened to be driving by and they saw it,
Hmm.
but I don't know about them saying that Lacey saw it.
Right. Um, Tammy thought courts were closed on Fridays. Uh-uh. Yeah, you guys are all saying it looks orange. Tammy says breaking into the house when she was supposed to be dead. No, they were people that broke into the neighbor's house across the street from where her and Scott lived, across from their house. And they're saying that she, while walking her dog, caught them breaking into the neighbor's house across the street, and they took her, kidnapped her, whatever you want to call it, and then killed her
Because she had seen them.
because she saw them, right? Um, Steph says, but they said they had nothing to do with her disappearance, so the police stopped looking into them. Right, that was back then.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, they said that they had found two of the thieves, and did somebody say there was three to begin with?
And I believe one of the neighbors that drove by. that saw the van and saw the people carrying the safe out. I believe they said there was 3 people.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they did say 3.
QB Design said exactly, Steph, because they would never lie. Right?
Some honest criminals out there, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good. Bubbles Crafty Corner. Hey, Sherry. She said that spot on the mattress looks like the shape of a head. Ooh. Well, I mean, I'm looking at it. Dawn said she remembered 3 too. So I don't know if there is a these here are also the apparently the like this picture here and this one here that you can't really see because it's like why it's
Okay.
like flashed out whenever they've like took it with a flasher on or something. I don't know. I think it's the same picture as this one, but I think that is supposed to be the swab where they swabbed and then put it inside one of those tubes for testing, you know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
That looks like it was like positive ID for.
But then there was a picture I saw where they had taken
Scroll down. Scroll down.
scroll down. Okay.
Scroll down.
I'm a going, I'm a going, I'm a going, I'm a
I
going.
got you.
Keep on scrolling.
I've got the thing like all the way up to like 200, so it blows it up bigger for you guys. Hold on, my computer is being slow as molasses because I've got a bajillion tabs open. Burned orange van, 1225. I'm scrolling. What page is it on?
They've got more pictures on 329, 330. Page 329.
Okay, discovery of stains on mattress. All right.
That
Okay, here
picture's.
we go. Okay, it says the stained mattress and metal canister depicted below. Um, so that's the canister. And
Mm-hmm.
then here's the mattress. Let me scooch over. Oh, went too far. There we go. Oh, shoot, shoot, shoot. Go back up, Jenny. So there's the mattress, and it's burnt up, and you can tell that right there looks like blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it could be.
Um, but then it shows where they took, and I think that's what we're getting ready to get to,
Yep.
is the here it says upon observing the stains, we decided to have the vehicle brought to the Modesto Police Department property locker for further processing. Um, and I don't know what that is. That looks like an overhead map. Maybe show them where the warehouse
Yeah.
was. Okay.
That's the overhead map showing where it went.
Um, Says I recall digging out the floorboard of the van and removing the mattress materials. I believe some of the portions of the van were examined for fingerprint evidence, but none were located. So I can't believe
And
that. I
yeah.
can't believe that they couldn't find no fingerprints in that van.
Yeah, that's strange.
Even with it being burnt, I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
okay, here's where they cut the samples.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so here they're showing samples that were cut out of the mattress. See where they've got those like things circled? I don't know.
Is that
Let
where
me
they
read
took
what.
the samples?
Yeah.
Here it says, I recall cutting 3 samples from the mattress fabric. So I think they cut, this is like a cutting of the actual. Let me minimize this some because it's so big for me to see. I recall cutting 3 samples from the mattress fabric. To the best of my recollection, the portions I collected consisted of 2 small cuttings of stained areas and 1 control cutting of a non stained area. I believe the stained samples I cut are the 2 small holes cut from the middle, and the control sample I collected from the edge of the fabric, as indicated by the yellow circles in the photograph below.
Yeah. So that top circle looks like it was the controlled, and then the middle circle, and then
And then the
the
one
bottom
here at the
circle looks like.
bottom.
Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, why did they cut such small thing? I guess maybe,
Because
uh,
you honestly don't need much to get
yeah,
DNA.
and they probably feel like they got like the places that were the most
Saturated or whatever.
right.
Mhm.
Um, Here it says, I did not take the photo depicted above. The attorneys I spoke to from the LAIP informed me that the photograph above was taken in 2019 in conjunction with testing that was conducted at the time, and that the letters A and B that are superimposed on the photo were placed onto the photo to indicate the areas where samples were collected for DNA testing in 2019. I believe separate photographs of the photos of my cutting of my samples from the mattress cloth in 2003 would also have been taken. Of the two, I deliberately chose the heavier stain sample to be subjected to a presumptive test for blood to give the best chance of indicating whether blood was present. This sample was placed into a vial for presumptive testing. Vial turned blue, indicating a positive reaction for blood. The vial and the positive reaction of the presumptive test are depicted below. Okay. I'm not sure what happened to the second sample cutting and the control cutting that I collected. It is my practice to wear gloves when entering a crime scene, including a burnt vehicle. Best of my recollection, myself and others processing the van wore gloves when we entered the vehicle and handled evidence therein. Um, the face of the evidence technician conducting the test went white. Ooh. Did you see that? I recall that once the presumptive test indicated positive for blood, the face of the evidence technician conducting the test went white, and everyone present at the evidence locker went ballistic. The people observing this testing started getting onto their phones to report that we had found. This was such a big deal that the police chief, city manager, and the fire chief all came down to the evidence locker to view the evidence. At this point, incendiary fire, I don't know how to say that word, morphed into a missing person case, and control of the case and its investigation were taken over by the Modesto Police Department. Okay, so where does it say uh have you read anywhere, JB's mama? I know you're reading ahead of me. You have to be, right? Is there
Sorry.
anywhere, and I'm just saying, is there anywhere in there that says that they've tested it for if what the results were? Or if this was mentioned in the trial? I mean, it's not going to say mentioned in the trial. I'm sure maybe it does. I don't know.
Not yet.
I left the Modesto. Here it says conclusion. I left the Modesto Fire Department not long after my involvement in this case. I agreed to talk about my observations and the evidence I collected and examined related to this vehicle fire because I have been deeply troubled about what I viewed to be an insufficient investigation into the possibility of this vehicle fire being related in some way to the disappearance of Laci Peterson. I have been deeply troubled. So is this guy saying that he doesn't feel like this was investigated enough into her disappearance?
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
Do you remember this declaration of Brian Spitulski being?
Now
I
that
don't know.
name is very familiar, but they had a lot.
Mm, well, see right here. It says, in my opinion, given the presumptive positive test for blood on the mattress in the back of the van, which was found the morning after Laci Peterson's disappearance not far from her home, and which was intentionally set on fire, perhaps to conceal evidence of a crime, a much more in depth investigation should have been conducted into who is responsible for the theft and burning of the van.
It sounds like they didn't
Yeah, I don't
do
think
any
they
of
did. And
that.
typically, that any DNA evidence, especially in an arsenal fire, with no evidence of something more sinister, it typically is put on a waiting list. It gets pushed back. In other words.
Right.
I agree with you, Steph. That's what, yeah, I think that's what happened.
But there are so many declarations. Like this person here says he's a retired commercial painter. This declaration of Homer Maldonado. I mean, there's so many in this. I think this is one of the people that called in about the van, maybe, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm reading it now.
I mean, this thing is chock full of testimony from all these different people, and I don't think that all of these things were included in the trial. I need to go back over here and look, see what you guys are saying in the chat. Steph said you said it right, Jenny. The incendiary. What does incendiary even mean? I don't even know what that means.
It's like flammable or something, isn't it?
Oh, I have no idea. He's saying the police didn't do enough, and he was uncomfortable with it because he thought they should have done more. That's what it
Hmm.
sounds like to me. Death penalty was overturned, so there had to be some mistakes or not enough evidence for this action.
I thought that was something with the jury.
It was the Tammy. The death penalty was on the case, but then I think
Yeah, yeah,
I can't remember what year it was. The Supreme Court of California overturned his death penalty conviction
that was in
um,
2020.
in
Yeah.
2020. Okay. Because of jury misconduct or something to do with, I think it had to do with the jury not being told something about the death penalty. I don't remember exactly. It was some sort of
Yeah.
technicality thing. And
Well,
so they ended up giving him life without parole. And I know that there was some stuff too. There was some other things going on with another juror.
yeah, strawberry
Um,
shortcake.
yeah, strawberry shortcake. She was a I don't remember what her actual name is, but she
Uh,
went by strawberry
Rochelle
short.
Nice.
What was it?
Rochelle Nice.
Rochelle Nice. Okay.
Well, what was that about that? Because I heard that name, but I didn't know what they were talking about.
Okay, so she first off, she should have been like off of the jury because she wasn't honest on her jury selection questions. The reason why is because they had said anything about if you had been in a domestic assault or anything along that lines, you know, to answer yes or no. Well, she didn't. Well, here's the thing: is she not only did she experience that in the past, she was also pregnant.
She was what?
She she was pregnant at the time where she experienced a domestic assault case,
Uh,
Oh,
mm,
okay.
and I had issued even a restraining order against her. She wasn't
Okay.
honest about her questionnaire on the jury selection, asking if she was pregnant.
right.
Okay. I see. Um so I think I think I had read that she was had been in a domestic situation before, but I don't think I knew about the pregnancy part.
Mm-hmm. Because she had like 4 little ones, I think, at the time of when the trial was going on,
Mm,
and yeah, but one of those was the one that she was unfortunately
wow.
involved.
Steph said incendiary, I don't know how to spell it, means they used a flammable to help fuel the fire. Okay. Well, good. Now I know that I've said it right. Tammy said, I just briefly saw that when I went to look for case on YouTube. I just heard that, but nothing else. Okay. Yeah, she was talking a lot of poop on the media. Was she?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't, I think I saw one interview with her and another juror afterwards. Um,
Was it a fella?
yeah, it was a guy. It was
Was it a
her
big
and
guy?
a guy.
Yeah, it was probably another juror. He was actually kicked off because he actually spoke to, I think it was Lacey's brother or something about, I guess I'm taking up your TV spot today or something along that line.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he was removed from the case, the trial.
Wow. Uh,
Yeah.
Mickey, where are you at? Are you want to come up or no? Dawn,
Come on down.
come on down. It's the Price is Right. Um, Steph, Tammy, any of y'all want to have anything you want to say about it? I really do though. I really want to go like into where they said those four. I'm going to get out of this document cuz it's making my computer run super slow. Hold on, let me go back to this though and share this screen again because um I want to see this. Um, again. Okay. Steph said, I think there was active stuff pertaining to her case too. Oh, could have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about that to know any, I mean, really. Um, but this down here where it talks about the four things that they're going to look at, the four key pieces. Like I said, it's more of the witnesses who saw Laci walking her dog. And in that document too that I had up,
Hmm.
um, there was a bunch of pictures of different people with their dogs that they, I guess, had shown the different witnesses or something, kind of like a lineup, so to speak. For I guess some of the different witnesses to say it was this person. This was who I saw walking this particular dog. Um,
Right.
and
I
they had,
think
but they had a
one of
whole
the
bunch of different ones.
I think the reason why that was because the defense was trying to say that, oh, that was this other lady who walks her dog who's also happened to be pregnant, who lives in the same area.
Mm,
Right, but she had
They
a
were
different
trying.
kind of dog, they said.
Yeah, she had a definitely different kind of dog, but it was still that way to try to put reasonable doubt in the jury.
Yeah, yeah, right.
oh wow. Um, well, there was one particular woman who, like I was saying, I was trying to explain it to Mickey earlier, and I felt like I couldn't explain it right. But basically, this woman had said something to her doctor or her dentist about, I guess she had went to the doctor like when this stuff was on the news, and she was like, Yeah, I live in the neighborhood where not Laci and Scott live, and I saw her walking her dog, blah 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 blah. And she said, but I didn't want to call because they said on the news that they were like getting a bunch of misinformation, and I don't want to like give them the wrong date or time or something. And the doctor, or maybe it was like the doctor's assistant or the nurse or something, I don't know, but whoever she was telling this to at the doctor's office was like, well, you should call. And I don't know if she didn't call and that person did call on her behalf or what,
Hmm.
but
I think I remember
apparently
that one.
apparently um they're wanting to look more into that. And then a few other witnesses too that supposedly saw her walking the dog, but
Right.
um um let me see here. Steph says I've been saying everything in chat. Tammy, I know. Tammy says it would still be great to see it from the beginning, just in the important things. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to have to figure that out because I really want to do that. This is, you know, very interesting, I guess is the best way to put it. There are some still, there are some still to this day who are firm in what they saw, but the police were trying to deflect all of that. Different woman, different day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Undermining the witnesses to serve their purpose. That's all they were good for to the police and prosecution. People in the neighborhood were also telling each other that the police wasn't taking them seriously. Well, and see, that's kind of it. I think like the gist of what that woman was saying in my mind, the what when I read it, it made me think, okay, she don't want to call because she don't want to seem like the cuckoo, cuckoo, nosy neighbor,
Right.
and they're not going to take what I say seriously anyway. I don't have no way to prove it. And then in my mind too, I was thinking that maybe she felt like she wasn't sure. You know how it is when you say you're like, "Oh, I saw this guy riding the bicycle down the road the other day, but was that Monday or was that Tuesday? I can't remember if it was before the mail ran or after the mail ran." And you know,
Right. And then
that's
when they push her on it or whatever, then it makes her like she didn't know what she was talking about.
right, right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to look stupid. So
No, I mean, for sure. And then especially you don't want to, you know, because that kind of puts you in a corner where if you say you feel forced to come up with a concrete answer, but if you have the answer wrong, it could potentially free Scott or put
right.
Scott on death row. At that time they were going for the death penalty.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think
I
I remember which one you're talking about, Jenny. They recognized Jenny. They recognized Lacey because they went to the same doctor.
Oh,
And a
okay.
lot of those eyewitnesses and some of the eyewitness reports that said, "Oh, yeah, I saw Scott at the marina, or I saw Lacey walking the dog." They had and called into the tip line, but the police were so far behind, or so not so focused on the tip line, so much say, so they didn't get in contact with these witnesses
Hmm.
until much later on, closer to trial or in the middle of the trial, or yeah.
Well, and you know what? Whenever they don't talk to you right away, you know how they always say the longer things go, the less you remember the fine tuned details.
Right. It's easy to
And
forget.
it is. And
I
then
always
when you
say
start,
I've slept since then.
exactly, and the more you try to think about it, the more you try to pin it down, the more you question yourself.
Right.
Yeah, Steph, right. And then they say your memory is hazy.
Well, no wonder
Hmm.
if they don't let you tell your side of whatever it is or what you saw
Mm hmm.
for
Mm
a
hmm.
month later or something.
Right.
Mm.
But you can imagine the amount of tips that they were getting. I mean, not just from the people seeing her walk her dog, but everything. Even
Yeah.
down to people saying, I think I saw Laci Peterson at the 7-Eleven just now, you know?
Right. Right.
I just saw a dark haired pregnant woman that looks just like Laci, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, also too though, is just like I said earlier, is there was media out there putting up so much false information. Like
Mm.
the
Yeah.
the report of that the cops smelled the bleach when they walked in.
Oh,
That
see,
wasn't
I
Right.
don't
in
even
any report.
see. I don't even didn't even know about that.
Hmm.
That's something else I didn't know about. There was something that I was just that brought to my mind, and now I can't remember what it was. And I was going to ask, shoot. What was it? I hate when I do that. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But there was something somebody said either in the chat or one of you two, and it made me think of a question. Um. Oh, I remember what it was. What was they saying? Something about the people that saw him at the marina or something said
Hmm.
that there was that they didn't see anything lumpy or bumpy in the boat and that boat wasn't a very big boat and that
Right.
there would have been no way for her to have fit in that boat, a pregnant 8-month long pregnant woman.
Mm-mm.
Right. I heard that, but they
Yeah.
said she could have been in the toolbox because he had one of the big toolboxes in the
Yeah.
back of the
He had the
truck.
big toolbox in the truck, but for the way that boat was, because I saw like a bajillion photos of that boat. I actually looked up whenever I heard about it, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna see it." To me, it looks like a regular old bass boat with that just that they put a motor on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
You
got
would have
bench
seen
long
her in
feet.
the boat.
Yeah, you would have seen her.
But then they also had the umbrella things. Did you see that? Where he was
Yeah,
supposed to be dropping the umbrellas off, but
yeah.
he
He had the
didn't drop
two
them off
umbrellas and the blue tarp that were still in his truck.
because they said that he could have used that to conceal the body.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that. And what was the whole thing about him going to the warehouse before he went fishing? Because he worked at a warehouse, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
So
He had the garage there too,
yeah, the warehouse is where he kept it.
Where he
where he
kept
had to
the
get the
what?
boat.
Oh,
The
the
boat.
boat. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, he kept his boat at the warehouse. So he had went there. Um, let's see here. Where I got my notes on that.
Steph, I know what you mean. And then the blocks, the about the cement being in his truck or the dry like powdered cement. But like I was telling Mickey, because she was saying something about him making his own whatever the anchors and for the anchors
Yeah,
and stuff.
anchors. Yeah,
But if you have a fishing boat and you're going out in the middle of the lake or ocean or whatever to fish, um, or in a lake, right?
No, the bay,
the bay.
the San
Okay,
Francisco Bay.
okay. Wherever you're gonna. That's what fishermen do is throw anchors
Mm-hmm.
so they can sit and fish in one spot, right? So,
Yeah.
and he did admit to making his own, right? Like
Yes.
That's what
concrete
they
things
said.
to
Yeah,
hold the anchors. So, I
Yeah, because
mean,
they
that
actually talked to the man that he bought the boat from, and they said that he sold the boat with no anchor.
right. And another thing about the knife that was in his car when he was found,
Mm-hmm.
I read that whoever he bought that car or truck or whatever from, the guy that he bought it from admitted that he sold it to him and that was his knife. It belonged to him and he'd forgot it in the car or truck.
Yes.
hmm.
Yes.
I
So
hadn't
that
heard that.
wasn't that wasn't even his knife. And I
No.
also heard, here's another thing, that the reason he had the $15,000 or $10,000 or whatever in cash was because his mother had accidentally withdrawn, like hit an extra zero or something when she went to the ATM or the bank teller, or I don't know. And now, I mean, it could be a mom trying to, like,
Yeah,
lie for her son, but that she supposedly withdrew money and didn't mean to draw as much out, and she gave it to him when they were all out golfing, and he just hadn't got it to the bank yet. I don't know. Playing the devical advocate
Devical,
here.
devical, avical,
Difficult
Devical
apical.
avical.
clavicle.
Yeah, clavicle, devical, avical. There we go.
So, Seth, did they ever find those? Like the anchors he supposedly made? Did they find them or not? We might know.
I, I don't think they. I
They
don't think
said
they
he
did
used them to
because
sink
he
her.
did have to. He did admit that he had to make more than one because his son didn't turn out right or whatever.
Steph said that's
Yeah.
such a swagey way of saying it. Swagey.
The Swagey.
Swager. Like Swager from Roger Rabbit saying
Oh,
Swager instead of Swagger. Oh, you guys kill me. We just make up our
we're just
own
going to
little
quit saying
words.
that. We're not going to say that anymore
No,
because apparently it's too hard for everybody to say.
Uh, it's a thing now, and you guys, instead of being
yeah,
devil's advocates, we're going to be devical advocals.
Clavicles.
typical.
Clavicles. Yeah.
With
Uh,
clavicles.
okay, so more about the warehouse. He stored his boat there, and
Hmm.
that's where he made the anchor thingies.
Well, we don't know if he made the anchors at the warehouse
Oh, okay,
or
okay,
if he
okay.
made them at the house because supposedly there was leftover cement that he used for projects at the house.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't think so, but they claimed he made enough of them to weigh her down, but the gases pulled her up. Probably is
But
right.
they have no proof of that he used them to weigh her down. How could they?
Well, I mean, in my mind, I'm just thinking the reasonable doubt for me is if you own a boat and you get a boat with no anchors and you want to go fishing, then you're going to make your own weights.
Right.
I mean, now where are those? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if
That's the question.
if they don't have them, then then that's a little bit mm, questionable. But that part always got me because the max amount to take out of the account out of the ATM is less than 1,000 last time I heard, said Sherry.
Okay. Y'all was talking about the mom thing. I remember though that is now. So what it was his mom actually went to a bank that actually him and Lacey had, and she didn't have her account number to her account. So they just brought up an account with her social security number. Well, that brought an account that actually was Scott and Lacey's, but she was still tied to it from before Scott and Lacey got married.
Oh,
He had
okay.
added Lacey, but
Mm.
he had never taken his mom off.
Okay.
And she
Okay.
actually drew the money out of Scott and Lacey's account.
Well, I see.
So
Okay.
the money supposedly was to repay for that, is what I remember.
Okay. Um QB Design says not the clavicle.
Yes, the clavicle.
Ah. Steph
The
says
difficult.
she withdrew from the wrong account. Kayleen says depends on what type of bank you have. I don't know. I mean, I always know that there's like a. I don't know if you could draw $10,000 out of any ATM machine. I don't know that I would want to, but I mean, it does make sense because I did hear. Now that you mention it, I did read somewhere about the mom was on the same account
Hmm.
as Lacey and Scott on that particular bank account. Um, but there's just so many, like, it's kind of like I have so many boxes check marked over on the guilty, and then so many check marks checked off in the not guilty. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and
That's
until these things come out, this van though, the van thing is blowing my mind. If that, I got to find out. We need more information on that van.
yeah. We need to check, take a deep dive into some of these people's statements and stuff in this thing from the
Yeah, I'm gonna
Innocence
be going through and
Project.
reading that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're gonna have to break it down and do a little at a time, and because there's, like I said, that many pages, there's no way we can. It's just,
Yeah,
there's just too much. There's too much. Um,
that's a
Kayleen
lot.
Platt, yes, talking about Scott Peterson and Laci Peterson. Um, Apparently, the
Not
Innocence
hot.
Project of Los Angeles is saying that they're uh, investigating something about, they've got, either they have evidence saying that he's not guilty, or they're requesting evidence that they feel like could prove that he's not guilty. One or the other. I don't know which. According to the way that they're saying things on these different articles I've read, it sounds like they already have evidence to show that he's not guilty, but I don't know. Kayleen says, "Have you ever wondered about how many Peterson men killed their wives around the same time?" Ooh, why? Was there more?
Because you have the Michael Peterson case also.
Who?
He was convicted in 2003 of killing his wife. That's there's a Netflix series of that. Something under the stairs.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Discussing the Innocence Project getting involved in trying to figure things out, what they have versus what was said and done. Devil's clavicle. He could have used them. Devil's clavicle. He could have used them to weigh her down, but it took so long for her to float up that the ropes rotted and gave way. They could be at the bottom.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if if he had them when he came back, or he just didn't have them anymore.
Steph said Peter's got to get his sons in line. Oh, there were
Haters are hard to
three.
control, Steph.
The staircase.
Yeah,
Um,
the stair.
Sherry said that burned van looks like someone was trying to hide criminal evidence to me. Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
100%. I mean,
Yep.
if it does have nothing to do with Laci and Scott Peterson, I'd love to know whose blood is on that van, on that mattress.
Yeah, it's somebody's.
It's somebody's, right? Drew Peterson too.
Oh,
Drew Peterson. Why does that name sound familiar? Drew Peterson.
That does sound familiar.
Eileen, I'm sorry.
Drew Peterson. Uh, okay, I remember him. What was that? Was he a cop or something? Wife killer cop. Yeah, was that in Indiana? That wasn't the one in Indiana, was it?
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Remember the one? No, okay, this was from uh, convicted murderer and former Bolingbrook, Illinois police sergeant Kathleen Savio. A few months after their divorce, I remember him. I remember that face. Um, mm. Oh wow, Kayleen. Kathleen Peterson is your second cousin. Oh my goodness. Wow. Drew Peterson was an ex cop who killed his wife, Michael Peterson. Okay. That's insanity. If they're saying they have things to prove he's innocent, how many other things do they have to show he's guilty? I know, Tammy. I know. That's kind of where, but the things that show that he's guilty are all circumstantial. If they've got legit DNA proof, that's
But
not circumstantial.
here's one thing too. He supposedly left. Scott left that morning to go golfing. Was gonna go and take the umbrellas to the warehouse for storage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Why did he buy a 2 day fishing? Like just a couple days
He bought a
for
2-day fishing license when he was
yes.
only going to be gone for like part of a day.
He originally was gonna go golfing that morning,
Okay.
but he changed his mind and decided to go fishing instead.
But did he buy those
He,
passes on like the 20th or something?
yes, he bought the fishing license on the 20th, but it was for the 23rd and the 24th. It was only a 2 day license. And supposedly that day he took the boat out was the first time he ever took it.
Well, that he had just gotten that boat though, right?
Yeah, the earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that is very suspicious.
Yeah.
Very suspicious.
And that's cold hard proof. They have the receipt when he bought the fishing pole and the fishing license on the 20th for the 23rd. That's proof. That's hard proof right there.
But what was his work schedule like? Did he have like free time to go fishing a lot very often? Maybe, the holiday coming up, he's like, okay, playing devil's advocate clavicle here.
Clavicle.
If he's thinking, I'm going to have a baby soon, I'm not going to get to go fishing much. Now I'm going to have the Christmas break. I'm going to take a couple days, go fishing, blah blah blah. The place there where he went was, what they say, like 90 miles away from where he lived.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
the
it
marina that he went
was
to. Yeah,
like 45 minutes away or something, didn't they say?
yeah, yeah. It's like
Okay.
45-minute drive from the marina to the house.
Okay.
He did say he was going to go golfing the day before he said that, but
Yeah,
then he said it was too cold. But then they
so he couldn't
questioned
go.
why he would go fishing if it was too cold to golf. Why would it be too cold? Wouldn't it be too cold to go fishing?
Right.
But now, was it his dad or Lacey's dad that had been fishing that morning also, like deep sea fishing?
I think it was Lacey's. But
I
when you
heard
go deep sea fishing, you leave out early, early in the
early,
morning.
right,
Early.
right, because
Yeah.
he was already back by the time they said, what's his name, Scott, would have been, leaving to fish.
Mm.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, you girls. There's that's so much. When you put your trying to get a timeline down is one thing, you know,
Right.
but then when you have all of these, there's no like definite time on when she was walking the dang dog.
Right. The only
Yeah.
definite timeline that they know of is she talked to, was it her mom, her sister, like at 8:30 on the 23rd,
Right.
Her
and
mom, I
then she
think,
was
wasn't it?
missing the next day. But as far as Scott's timeline, I have a lot of breakdown on what time he supposedly got up. left for the marina, was on his work computer, have a call for when he left him
Mm.
the left a message on the phone.
Yeah, that is. I agree, Steph, with that. She said the too cold to go golfing, but not too cold to go in the water in a boat is sus as heck, right?
Yep.
Tammy said, I bet the jury had a headache every day trying to figure out things. I know. I mean, and Tammy, did you know, and anybody else in the chat, I did not know that this trial, JB's mama said, was like 19 weeks long, like 5 months from June something to November something.
Yep.
Could you
June 1st,
imagine?
That's a
June
long
1st,
one.
November 3rd.
And how long did it, do you remember how long it took them to come back with a verdict?
On December 13th. Now the trial ended on November 3rd.
Okay.
December 13th is when the Senate recommendation came back from the jury. And then the judge actually sentenced. Now, mind you, this is June 2004. Yeah, June 2004, November 2004. And then December 13th, 2004 is when the Senate's recommendation came down from the jury. On March 16th, 2005 is when the judge sentenced Scott to the death.
Mm, wow.
I agree with you, Steph, on that.
Right. I know, Steph. That I mean, that kind of a jury that long. Holy cow! I feel like that would be okay. My jury ticket is done for the rest of my life. I'm done.
Yeah.
Nikki said,
I
"Is the
had to do it.
Heidi? How have you?
Yeah. But it was
Ooh.
just a stupid case this guy was taking against the police because they gave him a ticket and he wanted a jury trial for that.
Oh my God.
I'm like, really? I'm here for this.
Um, Mickey said, "Is the Heidi Broussard case over with?" I don't know. I've not heard. I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about that one. I would if I knew what it was about, maybe. I'm bad about, like, give me a name and I might know it, but sometimes I need to know what happened in order for it to register.
Yeah, names are hard.
Mm. Steph said, those people better never have to serve jury duty again. Y'all gonna have me up all night reading up on this, so QB's design.
QB, that's how I've been since yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
Tammy said, how long was the Stout case? That case seemed really long. It was, I think, what, like 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think it was like 6 weeks.
Give or take. Give or take. It was long, but it wasn't like long, long, long. I almost had to do jury duty for a realty slander case with a suit and countersuit, but I knew the defendant from work and she was a B and treated my staff like crap, so I said I couldn't be what? I couldn't be
Unbiased.
unbiased. I sat on a jury for a child molest
Oh,
case. It was her
Mm,
biological father. Ooh, God, that would be bad.
yeah, that would be horrible.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Her BFF killed her and stole her baby. I remember that. I remember watching. Okay, the Heidi Broussard. She's the one that was pregnant. Um, was she pregnant or did she have the baby? She wouldn't she? Didn't she like? I think they were friends. They were like high school friends or something, and then they didn't talk, and then she like was like, "Let's be friends again," and she was like wanting taking her out to lunch and stuff, and the next thing you know, she kidnaps her and killed her. They found. I remember watching the news. They had like a helicopter hovering over the house, waiting on her to um, come out of the house or something, and she was dead in the trunk of the car or in the garage or something. It was awful.
Oh no, you need to know.
QB Design says, side note, is the Treehouse Murder coverage day 1 and 2 available? I didn't see it under lives. It is. I'm trying to think. I have to go back and look. I don't, because we hadn't decided on. We were looking between that one, the Treehouse Murder case, and the other one with Michelle Traconis, because they both started pretty much the same time. And then Steph voted, and a couple others in the chat voted for the Treehouse Murder shenanigan trial. And like it's that trial that we love to hate, right?
Yeah.
I can
uh,
honestly say I wasn't around for that voting.
you
I
weren't.
like
You
the
weren't.
one guy.
Wasn't around for the voting.
Which guy? The Roger Rabbit?
Uh, no, he's not the one that was with Paula smoking dope and stuff, was he?
Yeah,
That's the one I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I didn't
yeah.
know what his name was.
The one that kept saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they said, "Did you sell it?" He said, "No, nope."
No, nope. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was entertaining.
yeah. He was the Swager guy.
Oh,
He kept saying, the way you walk and talk, you got Swager. It's
yeah,
Swager. And he meant swagger, but
right.
he kept saying Swager. And we was all like, did he say, is he trying to say swagger? He was a character. The Yes Man, said Tammy. Yes, the Yes Man. But his name is Roger Raggett or
Yeah, it
Roggett.
always sounds like rabbit.
And
Yeah,
I was like, did they say Roger Rabbit? So I've called him Roger Rabbit ever since. Can't help it. But I did like him. He is a character.
yeah, he was.
No one corrected him, like no one knew what he meant. I know. I don't think anybody knew. I don't think that they had a clue. But that lawyer, or that judge, I mean, oh my God. That judge is, I cannot wait for tomorrow morning, you guys. I cannot wait for tomorrow morning. Oh,
Let's see how that.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Let's just hope that he's on time, right?
Oh Lord, let's hope so.
Mm. Well, so JB's mama, you have got, I think, like 8 pages of notes.
Yeah.
What hang on to those notes because we're gonna circle back around to this pretty soon.
Oh, it's in my notebook.
But like, what are a couple of things that you wrote down that you feel like is super important that we haven't touched on tonight?
Um, let me see here. Glance back at this real fast. Okay. The one of the things is police never did an analysis of the Peterson's home computer.
Really?
They never did an analysis.
Wouldn't that have been like a big? That's like 101 crime scene investigation is the home computer.
You would think. You would think.
Hmm.
And then another thing was Scott only called Lacey's phone one time, even after coming home and finding that she was missing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't
He
know that either.
never tried to call her again. Not even after that.
Was that just her cell phone, or was that house
He
phone
called the
and cell
house
phone?
phone. He called the house phone,
Right. That's
and
what
then he had
I
called
thought
his
he
cell
did
phone once.
once. Hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And
Oh
both those
wow.
were neither there.
Steph
Yep.
says Craven snotty key lime walls. I know. God help. Tammy said I think Judge was a little harsh with Paula. I don't think he was harsh with her. I think he was harsh with,
The situation.
yeah, I think he, well, but I think he had to be because He even told her, and he even told Tucker, he's like, listen, he told her, I want your testimony. But he did say, I'm going to have to come off the bench and I'm going to have to talk to her in words that she's going to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just wasn't, either she wasn't listening because she was just not, she was medicated, in
Right.
pain, stressed out, and I don't think she could hear clearly.
That's what it
Right.
seemed like.
Yeah. But I
But they should have
agree, he
had
was
somebody
harsh.
go in there probably and try to get her, like you said, to take the lawyers there, the judge, do it in.
I think that would have been the best thing. I mean, yeah, she's not going to want 12 jurors sitting up in her room looking at her,
Well, no, yeah,
but
but they
I
could have
think,
filmed it.
yeah, I think that they could have went in there with the judge and the court reporter and whoever else, the lawyers and whatever, and done what they needed to do to get through it and recorded it, took it straight back to the courthouse and played it for the jury. And
Right.
done it at a time when she was medicated comfortably, so she's comfortable and not in screaming pain, but also
And she
lucid.
was lucid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, here's
So
my thing
what?
is, why didn't they have at least have a witness advocate in there? Because they don't take, they're there to be for an advocate for the witness.
Yeah.
She's a witness.
Yeah.
Why couldn't
Well,
they someone
I think
who could
that
have
they
sat
should have
with
had I think they should have had something like that. Someone had said, why didn't they have a nurse in there with her? And I think that they did have a nurse in there at one point just to try to get things set up. But I think the judge said something specifically about wanting her to not have like anybody in there with her because of like potential uh tampering with testimony
Yeah.
or whatever. um, which is probably not going to happen. But if they did, then it could have been an appeal issue for her to have had somebody in the room with her.
Right.
But in the situation that she's in, there should be some kind of a loophole for that. Like you said, a witness advocate, something. But in order for it to have been as easy as it could have been, I think, what I mentioned with them going down there and filming her testimony would have been the easiest way. They wouldn't have had to scream through computers for 2 hours and 3 days.
Right.
But
Oh.
Dawn
So
said, I
what are
think
they
she was
doing
on the
with it
PFF.
tomorrow? Aren't they going to
Um,
have some kind of her testimony some way?
yeah, they've got a deposition of hers.
Oh, okay.
That was probably either filmed or audio of it. And I think that that's what they're going to use. He wanted to just get it the way they were trying to do on Friday, but it just wasn't panning out. So I think he's got the deposition to use as a backup. Um,
Yeah. That's what they should have done to begin with.
yeah, I think so. Um, um, Sherry said, when you're looking for a loved one, you would be calling that person like crazy. That's the other thing that always got me. Right.
Hmm.
Steph said, I don't even think she was lucid talking about Paula. Poor
Paula.
Paula.
Poor Paula.
But I think if they did it a few days earlier, she would have been better. Tucker told Judge she was going downhill fast. Well, I mean, Tucker tried to get him to let him get her out of order, but he wouldn't having it. So, an agent of the court could have been appointed. Her initial deposition video, yeah, for sure. I think it's a video because they said they were going to be using the same setup. Okay. Well, that's what they're supposed to be doing tomorrow is that. And then I think he's got a couple, I think he said a couple other witnesses. Um,
Yeah, I thought he
and,
said something about that.
yeah.
and so depending on how that goes, that
If they
should
show
be
up.
right. Right. Who
He said,
knows who
I've
they.
been trying to get a hold of him. I was like, what?
Uh, yeah. Well, when they have subpoenas, you know, they
Yeah,
don't
they
have a
should.
choice.
You would think.
You don't have a choice. If you're not there, then you're in trouble, Birdsong.
Right.
I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it. It's 11 o'clock. We've been on for what, a couple hours and 15 minutes. Um,
Hmm.
but I want to continue. It was
Yeah.
awesome having you guys up here. I think that if we do like a deep dive breakdown into these four different key things that the Innocence Project is looking at, I
Hmm.
think that'll be good and we'll be better able to really like kind of cut into things because that when you have a case this size with this much information, you
Right.
you kind of got to peel it apart like an onion. I don't know what else to do with it, but
Yeah, and that's what they're going to be focusing on
right,
for
right,
this part of the, to try to prove his innocence or whatever. So that
right.
would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to look at it. And Dawn, uh, hopefully you can come up the next time.
Yeah,
Um,
Dawn.
yeah. Kayleen says, right, but when did cell phones become something that everyone had and kept on all the time? 2001? Well, I mean, they were in California. I mean, they're young and hip at that time. I would assume that they probably did. I don't know if they used them all the time, but
Yeah, I
I
don't know
don't.
if it was like today, like people
No.
do today, but
Yeah, think it's like I keep trying to throw out that that's the when you get your 3 minutes after was it 7 or 9 p.m. or whatever. I remember this
right,
because I graduated in 2004. Right, high school in 2004. So
Right.
my best regulation is to try to think back. What did you do back in
right.
then? You know.
Hmm.
Mm,
So
I don't think
and
I had
that's
a cell phone back then.
I'll be honest. I don't remember if I did or not. I have no idea. I can't remember that. I don't know.
I'm old though, so I was doing the old school thing.
Yeah.
they still had payphones back then. Okay, I'm still old enough to remember payphones and pagers and all that.
Yep.
So
Me
Yep.
too.
Oh
Me
yeah.
too.
And the
Yep. I
phones with the
always remember.
cords that you had to stretch into the other room.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then they get all knotted up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Stretched up, knotted up.
You're
Mm-hmm.
begging mom, the 12-foot cord, please buy the 12-foot cord.
Exactly.
I
Didn't want
remember.
anybody to hear you.
Oh God, I remember so much whenever I was like in high school or middle school. I wanted the daggone phone that was clear, that you could see all the colored gears in it and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the retro
Yep. Yep.
looking phone. It was so cute, right? Oh my God.
Hmm. I had one that had it was like big numbers,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
like a
yeah,
push
yeah.
button, but it was the big numbers.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was just too cool.
That was cool. Gosh. I remember my grandma and papa, they had one of the rotary phones forever, like forever long after the push button phones, came out. But my dad upstairs, he had cuz he had like a radio room. He did like CB radio stuff, and he
Hmm.
had a phone that was in his radio room, and it was one of those old rotary phones, but it was the metal one, black metal.
Oh
And
yeah.
son, you could clock somebody and knock their brains out with that thing.
Yep.
Good Lord. And you had to like be able to lift weights and stuff to talk on that phone. Oh,
That was the good old days.
uh-huh. Steph said, I want a home phone just to get that phone, Jenny. Oh, Tammy still has a home phone.
I do
Who?
Don't.
too.
Dawn says, "Who are you talking to that you need that much cord?" Hey, I'm telling you what. When you live in a house full of people and you
Yeah.
want to
Yep.
talk to your boyfriend,
You gotta
you
have some
know,
privacy.
you got to have privacy and you got to be able to stretch that cord from one end of the house to the other. And it has to be able to fit under the door
So you can shut the door.
so you can shut that
And
door.
shut the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're just yit yakking with your BFF from school, gossiping around
Right.
what the gossip is. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want everybody to hear,
Mm-mm.
you know, get
No,
a
when
centrally zoned phone in the house. You want to go all the way to the bathroom, bedroom, wherever you're trying to go.
yep.
And my mom and dad used to be like, "Didn't you just see her all day long, your friend at school? Why are you talking to her for hours?" I said, "We have stuff to discuss about the day."
Right. We have minutes to record here, right?
That's right.
Goodness gracious. I know. It's like it and that's what girls do.
Hmm.
Girls talk on the phone. So,
Yep.
QB Design says for some reason I'm thinking that he was relieved, like he thought she had left and he wasn't upset that she would be back. I could be thinking of another case. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Steph said she was a junior then. Didn't use my phone until late at night or for emergencies. She may have kept it in the car just for emergency use when she wasn't home. Yeah, I mean, we do need to keep in mind and remember he
Yeah.
called her, if he called her just the one time,
Yeah.
he's probably thinking devil's advocate, devil. Now, how do I say it?
Devil.
No, the other way. The devical,
Yeah.
Cervical
Devil.
clavicle.
devical clavicle. Um, he if he called her the one time, she didn't answer. He's probably thinking, she probably don't even have it with her, you know.
Yeah. That's what I
And
was thinking.
and if her charger is home, if he's like, well, there's her charger sitting on the table or next to the bed or whatever. She ain't charging her phone. It's not like today where you can just stop anywhere and get a $2 charger, you know.
Right.
Devical clavicle.
Cervical clavicle.
All right. Well, this was fun, you guys.
Yeah.
It
You
was
had fun.
fun, and I'm so glad you joined because it's not it's one thing whenever you sit and watch a trial all day with people. It's
Yeah.
uh it's different whenever you actually want to talk about a case like this because then I just feel like I'm talking to myself.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is a lot more interesting when you have other people to
Discuss it with.
yeah, to discuss it with and bounce ideas and things off of and Lord knows if JB's mama hadn't have found that picture of that van, we'd still be scrolling.
Jenny'd still be like, "Where is it at?"
I'd still be scrolling, scrolling,
Uh,
scrolling, rolling, rolling. So,
I'm one of those. What do they call it? I'm a secret sleuth. That's what I am.
well, good. That's good. I tend to act like I'm a secret sleuth, but no, I'm like if I can't find it on Google, if it don't appear within the first 5 minutes, I don't care to deep dive things, but I really got to
Mhm.
know what to look for.
Right. We're gonna
And
just put JB's mama in charge of that.
right, and there's
She
like
can
all
just send
these
it to us.
Yeah.
there's all
Here's
these
Nick.
like Facebook groups, for all these different cases that are going on, but those places make me a nervous wreck. There's like
Yeah.
so much information, and then you kind of have to like take all of it with a grain of salt until something's proven.
Right. Right.
And people hear stuff and see stuff, and then they just run with it, and I
Um,
don't like that.
I
No.
have to say, hear ye
Mm-hmm.
from Mickey Joe. She has a statement to make.
Oh Lord, Mickey Joe always has statements. Hold on, let's see which one.
Uh,
Uh, I agree with Dawn. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Dawn. I decree it shall be from henceforth to evermore the devil's clavicle. Okay. Good deal. The
So it
devil's
has been spoken.
let us say from how does she say that? From henceforth to evermore. The devil instead of the devil's advocate, we're gonna be the devil's clavicle. Okay.
That's right.
The devil's clavicle. Henny said, thanks, Jenny and lady. See y'all tomorrow.
Night, honey.
Yeah, bye, Henny. It's good to see you, hun. And you guys, thanks so much. This was awesome, and we're gonna have to discuss when we're gonna do this again. I'd love to do it a few times a week, or
Yeah.
something, and I just don't know how I could do late night live streams and all day
Yeah. That's a
trials.
lot.
That is a
Yeah.
lot. So,
Yeah, that's a
um,
lot.
but we'll figure something out. We'll get something squared away and see what works for everybody. So,
Yeah. We'll talk. We'll
all
chat.
right. We will chat. We will chat. We
We
will
shall
chat.
chat.
Yes. Chatter chat chat. So, but thank you guys for joining me, and um we'll see you guys in the morning. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
JB's mama and Morgana, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Jenny.
You guys are awesome.
Janae.
Janae. Good night, Morgana
Bye,
Banana
everybody.
Hammock.
Bye
Bye,
bye. Good
JB's
night.
mama. Oh, Morgana,
How
if
do
you
I
can't
click
figure
off of here?
out,
Oh, I see it.
you see the leave studio button? There you go. All right. She's good. She's good, good, good. So, this was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Um, Good night, Kayleen. Good night, Steph. Good night, everybody. Tammy, yes, I was in You Can Call Me Butters live tonight. I was in and out because it was like dinner time and stuff, so I didn't get to see all of it, but I saw a lot of it. It was good to see her tonight. Um, but yeah, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for the Treehouse trial at I need to look and see what time. I don't remember what time they said they were going to resume, but I assume 9:15 ish. So that's when I plan to be on. If for whatever reason I see that they're not coming in until later, then I guess it'll be later, but I don't know. Steph says, I think it was going to be a late start, but I could be wrong. I need to go back and look. I'll have to go back and look at the Friday um, stream and see what the judge says. Because I can't remember, to be honest. But just keep an eye on the on a notification to pop through or something. So, but thanks for joining, everybody. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out, and I hope that I hope that you guys don't feel like I ignored anybody in the chat. It's hard to look at the different articles and stuff and then chatting with the people up here with me, whenever like JB's mom and Morgana, it's hard to I can't multitask. I have a hard time with that, but anyway. Steph texted me the case. Okay, I'm gonna look at that. Look up Real Crime Profile. They appear to have a good series on Peterson. And watch out for the A&E coverage. Says that it was bankrolled by the sister and produced by the old defense attorney. Ooh. All right. Thank you, QB Designs. I'll have to look that up too. All right. Make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up before you head out the door. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. All right. Have a good night. Bye, guys.